Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tub Takes. We are here with a special EU edition where we have three top players who did really, really well at the Latin American International Championships. This is a video podcast where we talk about the latest and greatest happenings in VGC, for those who are new. And of course, Bloody, thank you for the raid. I guess I'll let you introduce yourself first. Congratulations on a top 32 at LAIC.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Bloody, and I think that your Discord window's off because Torviv is just ahead on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I like for those of you who know VGC and do not know me, I do Pokemon content. I'm a YouTuber, streamer, and I started playing VGC like 6 months ago, and I just topped 32 to LAIC. Yay! So, cool stuff.
Yeah. Top 32 was a really, really cool performance. Cool to see you finally break through. You've been so close to day 2 a couple times, so congratulations. And yeah, it was really cool to see.
Thank you.
And then, of course, we've got 2 other players who, again, we move the time. Normally, we do this at 7 p.m. In Central Time, which is, I guess, only for me. But we moved it 2 hours early so we could try to get some European players after EU really dominated this last Internets. And, of course, we've got maybe the most consistent player, the 2 most consistent players in the world recently. We've got Torviv, or Victor, coming off of your 2nd straight internationals cut and a world's cut in between those 2. How you doing?
It's been great. Hello. It's nice to be here. So I'm Torviv, BGC player. Trying to get better at BGC, and it's been great too. So cool.
Wait, Torviv, like 30% of what you were saying got cut off. I think your
Oh,
Discord
really?
is doing like a noise gate. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just like go to user settings and go to voice and
Yeah,
video,
yeah.
and then just like slide the sensitivity thing.
Should be okay now. Okay, so I'm a Spanish BGC player. So I just got top 8 at LAIC. So it's been great for now. I'm trying to get better, and it's been a pleasure to be here. No, it's a pleasure to be. I didn't finish yet. Sorry.
It is a pleasure to have you on too. We've been trying to get you on for a while, and finally the time zones and everything worked out, coming off a really big performance. So, congratulations again. And then,
Thank you.
I think the echoes come back now.
Oh yeah, is that why you did the noise gate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
I guess the auto button works, or headphones.
Headphones is probably a good idea if you have those. But we're gonna go ahead and let the most consistent player in the world, Mr. 17th place, Dave or Desu. How you doing?
Hi guys, I'm doing fine. For everyone though that doesn't know me, I'm Desu. I'm an Italian VGC player, and I went recently in the LAIC International Champion, 17th place. Oh wait, no, I actually ended up in 16th place thanks to Yuyatada for that.
Yay! Wait, there's two. We're bubble buddies. We did it.
Yep.
Yeah, you ended like 33rd.
Yeah, I was
right?
33rd, and then the DQ brought me to 32nd. So.
Yeah, and you had gotten 17th at the last 2 internets, which is, 10-10
Yeah.
for it, both of them, which is crazy, and then so unlucky with resistance. So I'm glad that you finally got rewarded.
I ended in the last international championship with a score of 11-3.
Oh,
And I still managed to bubble. Yeah.
that's brutal.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, let's get into it. So we've got a few topics to talk about today. First and foremost, we try to give you a heads up whenever regionals have registration so that you don't forget to sign up. In this case, because we moved Tub Takes it back a couple days to let everyone kind of travel back home from Brazil, we didn't really let you know that Charlotte did start registration yesterday. But there are still spots available. It looks like I am going to Charlotte, as you can see. And so it looks like there's about 600 players registered out of 864 masters. A lot bigger cap this time around this compared to some of the past North American regionals. But it is about 75% full, it looks like. So if you are planning on going to Charlotte, make sure to register for that. Bloody, you go to Charlotte?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm registered.
Awesome. Yeah. I can't imagine. I can't imagine either of the Europeans are coming.
No, not really. But I'm going to Gdansk.
I'm not playing in Dansk.
Oh, you're not?
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, it's very close to LAIC.
yeah.
Yeah. Everything okay with the noise, right? No?
Yeah, no, you're all good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Actually,
Perfect.
I won't even play in Stuttgart regional. I think I'm going directly to Liverpool for the next major event.
Oh wow.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm not playing in Stuttgart either.
When is that? December?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
very bad date.
What day is it?
I mean,
Look it
it's
up.
like 6. I think it's 8, 9,
middle
and
of
10.
December. No,
Yeah.
Okay. So like
Yeah.
a week before San Antonio, I think is what. Yeah.
Mm,
Oh okay.
The weekend before San
think so.
Antonio, which is luckily for you guys right before the DLC drops, which is the other piece of news that we want to talk about today. Before we preview or recap the tournament that y'all just attended. Yeah, but this is a week before the DLC drops, or the week right before the DLC drops, and so y'all can, I guess neither of y'all are going, but you can go to the tournament and then immediately switch focus to potential Regulation F with all of these cool new DLC Pokemon. Whereas
Yeah, so San Antonio is gonna be Reg E, and then it switches after that, right?
And so we are going to have all the new moves and all the DLC, and those are not going to be legal. Presumably, they generally have not been legal. But we actually did just get news about the DLC from Serbi, who had a chance to play a little bit. And I want to talk about this because obviously we'll have plenty of time to talk about all the new drops in the DLC when we get more information in December, and as more and more trailers and whatnot come out. But this is really cool because he said that a majority of the battles in the DLC are going to be double battles, which is something that we did not really have in this game. And I think in general, a lot of people, a complaint about VGC is that you don't get exposed to double battles at all. And we haven't really been exposed to a ton of double battles in the core series games. So this is maybe the first time, other than maybe XD Gale of Darkness back in Gen 3, where we're going to see people really get exposed to double battles and get, and he also said that there are going to be like real strategies, stuff like grassy terrain Whimsicott with grassy seed, which isn't really competitively viable, but it is cool for that they will showcase some more competitive strategies in double battles in this DLC.
I
Yeah, at
am
least
really
it's
excited.
something.
Yeah. I am really excited about this DLC. Like, I really want to play like the competitive mechanics, like in the. I'm guessing it's like putting up the sun and doing heat wave or something like that. But that's more than nothing, honestly.
Yeah, like the game almost never makes you work for it, so it'd be fun to like have to work for anything in the mainline game.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least it seems they put some kind of effort in sponsoring the VGC. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it seems like they're trying to push VGC a little bit more in a lot of different directions. I mean, like recently, I saw Disguised Toast had like a sponsored VGC stream, which like I don't think I've seen a lot of sponsored VGC streams, but it's like cool that TPCI is like taking amounts of notice in just like trying to get more people into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially again with the new DLC drop and tournaments having higher caps. I'm really hoping that this kind of allows more people to be exposed to it, both with the push and content as well as the accessibility of the games themselves being increased. And so I'm really excited for the DLC overall. And I guess the other piece of news that was in here was new moves. So obviously we had the big news that was Expanding Force is coming back as a TM. So maybe something like a Hatteran might get it, Indeedee might get it again. I saw Monkey Dory is a Pokemon that people threw out as a Pokemon that might get it. We don't know all the Pokemon that are coming back in the DLC, but if Tapu Lele is coming back and potentially gets it, that would also be really powerful. So any thoughts on some of the new moves that are coming back in the DLC as TMs?
yeah, I heard someone saying Fluttermane may learn a Meteor Beam. I don't know if maybe actually a good strategy to run Power Herb Fluttermane, but the +1 without the restriction of choice spec seems really cool, and also is a good coverage move in general.
I think it would be very good if that's true. But I hope it's not.
I don't know because I saw some calcs on Meteor Beam on Incineroar and like it like nothing.
Oh, really?
Like yeah, was like something like 55% on the Assault Vest Incineroar. So
Oh.
you miss the kill on the non-Assault Vest too.
Yeah.
Maybe the calc is wrong. I didn't calc it, but it seemed to me underwhelming.
Someone save it. It's the
Yeah, I'm
calc is
just-
right.
But yeah, I'm just currently looking up some of these moves because I'm very new to VGC, so it's like I don't actually know what these things do.
Yeah.
Triple Axel Chimpo.
So Meteor Beam is a move that it's kind of like a Sky Attack clone where you have to charge the first turn and then it hits the second turn. But the first turn it will raise your special attack by a stage, and the Power Herb item lets you basically use a 2-turn move in 1 turn, which means that you get the special attack boost and then you click a base 120 attack base 120 power rock move. And then you can just kind of keep the special attack boost and start hitting things with other moves, which was really popular on Nihiligo for a while, which is, of course, a rock poison type with a high special attack stat. And then Lunala as well used it a lot in the last generation as just a way to hit Incineroar which it's so weak to otherwise, as well as boosted special attack before firing off other attacks. So this is definitely a really powerful move for a lot of different people, a lot of different Pokemon that can learn it and spare the item slot.
Dope.
I'd like to play Nihiligo again with Meteor Beam. It's one of my favorite Pokemon and one of my favorite movesets of all time. Of course, when Meteor Beam hits.
Yeah. If it doesn't, it's not good.
Someone in chat says Glamora might get it too, and Glamora is a Pokemon that I think could really take advantage of it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Grimora with Meteor Beam seems cool, but I don't know if it's better than Nihiligo for that role. I think Glimora is kind of a Nihiligo, but more defensive. I can say that. I mean, you want to play Glimora more for the spikes than the damage output.
Yeah. I'm also looking at coaching and Triple Axel because Triple Axel Chimpo would be amazing. I
Wait,
would
what is
love it.
coaching?
Coaching gives +1 attack and +1 defense to the teammate.
Oh,
And it's not redirected by any moves like Follow Me or Rich Powder.
oh, and it hits through Protect?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god. Wait, you just put
It's-
that on like a friend card.
Yeah.
It
It's
has a
very cool.
pretty limited. It's not given to every Pokemon, but the notable one it was given to back in last generation. One of the notable ones was Riolu, which had Prankster, and so it could always go first with that, which is pretty cool.
And this little
It
tiny
was very
baby?
cool. Yeah, it was very cool.
That's so cool. I can't believe a 285 base stat total Pokemon was used.
Yeah.
I think did Pheromosa
Wow.
get it too? Yeah, Pheromosa used it occasionally too, I guess. But those are the two that I saw using it the most. And then what was the other one you mentioned? Triple Axel. You said Triple Axel Chen.
Yeah, Triple Axel. Yeah. Please.
I
I don't think
Please.
it's gonna get that. They didn't give it.
Yeah,
knockoff.
I don't think it-
they're gonna give it Triple Axel.
I really hope they don't give Triple Axel to Chimpo.
I hope they do, but they're not going to, so it's okay.
And then the last move I think that I wanted to talk about, I think was it Hard Press? Which Sarah B said is a steel type move that does more damage the higher the target's hit points. And so that is the same as Regigigas' signature move, Crush Grip, as well as Ring Out, which I forgot was a move because apparently hasn't been in the game since Generation 7, but we were talking about that. And one cool thing about this, if this move is good, especially if it's given to something like maybe a Metagross, right? So it does more damage based on the higher HP that your opponent has, which means that if you KO at full HP, that also means that you always KO no matter what HP they're at.
Oh yeah, huh?
That's very cool.
Do we know if it's a TM or not? Maybe it's a
Oh, I actually don't know if it's TM.
Maybe it's a signature move of like the new evolution of Duraludon. Maybe.
Mm,
I can see that.
maybe that's right. Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah.
Oh, that new
Sounds
evolution is
like
going to be amazing.
sounds
Yeah,
like
do
a
we know anything
signature
about
move.
that evolution or its stats or anything?
No, I think we don't know anything about the new evolution.
We know it's typing.
Yeah, just a bunch of
We know its
question
abilities.
marks.
And I think that's it. So it's a steel dragon type with either stamina or sturdy, is what it looks like.
Ooh.
And I'm not. It might have a hidden ability too. I'm not sure. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it
that's
just
it.
says unknown.
But yeah, and we've heard rumors about, or we've heard that there is a Rainbow Terra or a Omni Terra of some sort, and we don't exactly know what that is. But this is going to shake up the game for sure, and I'm really excited for Portland Regionals when it's going to be the first event with this with these new Pokemon and whatnot. But we got again just getting some new news, and as these news trickles out, I definitely want to talk about it and speculate about how how it's going to impact everything. It's just going to be hopefully it's going to shake up everything, and we're not going to see the same Urshifu, Fluttermane, Iron Hands on every single team like we've been looking at for the last 6 months.
I'm so tired of Urshifu. So tired.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think we all are, even the ones who
Yeah.
are abusing it. We are
Yeah.
tired.
Those of us who are using Urshifu, we are tired of Urshifu. Stop making us do this.
Yes, yes, please.
But
But it's broken. We have to play it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that is the thing, right? And this time, it's honestly it's a little different than normal because there's like about there's 3 or 4 Pokemon that are about 50% usage and a bunch of Pokemon. I think we have the usage in this article in Victory Road, but we have it's like 3 or 4 Pokemon that are really high in usage here. 2 Pokemon, I guess. Day 2, yeah, it's up to 3. In day 2, it's Fluttermane, Iron Hands, and Urshifu, are just the big 3 at about 50% usage. And then so many
Yeah.
other Pokemon, all these other Pokemon, except for the top 11, I guess, are all above 25% usage, which is just crazy amounts of being centralized, especially when you're talking about 11 Pokemon. And I don't know what this adds up to, but I feel like this has got to be most teams have to have like 5 of these Pokemon.
I think every team in the top 8 had, well, yeah, like everyone except for Size Spam ones had at least 3. Or not top 8, just like top 32 even.
Probably.
If I remember correctly, half of the bracket were Tornado to Shifu. Right, half of the bracket was like just on Shifu spam.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess with that, let's start talking about the Latin American Championships just held last weekend in Brazil. And like I mentioned, all 3 of you went and all 3 of you did especially well. And so I guess let's just kind of talk about your experiences in Brazil. I've personally never been. I've always wanted to go. And I think that I think Desu, you've been there before, right?
Yeah, I went to Brazil 2 times before this one. I I really enjoyed traveling to Brazil and the last year, but this year, for some reasons, I didn't enjoy it as much as the other years.
I'm gonna just run to the bathroom real quick while you guys are doing the thing. I'll be right back.
I think the location was different. This year location was different respect to 2017 and 2018. Maybe it's that, but also we ran in some major issues during our games. I got disconnected multiple times during my round 3 and round 4, which I think affected my enjoyment of the tournament.
Yeah, I heard a lot I've heard a lot of different people talking about these disconnections. People tweeting about it. Do you want to talk more about what happened there exactly? Do you know what happened there?
So they were general disconnection about was mostly because of the poor internet connection we had there in the venue, and I had my disconnection. My first disconnection was round 3 against Martin Moradi, and we had to. They gave us a tie. I won game 1, and if he won the game 2, we would have been forced to play the sudden death. lucky for me, I won to both games. I disconnected, so I didn't run in sudden death, but other people did, and it wasn't very. Um, mm, they really didn't like it.
Yeah, it's never
Yeah.
fun, and no one really team builds with sudden death in mind, and so it's really frustrating for sets to come down to that. I'm curious because I remember after Worlds and after that mass disconnection in top 16, they changed the rules so that if there was a disconnection, the TO or sorry the judges could decide that to replay the game instead of going and calling it a tie. And I'm surprised that they enforced this, they enacted this rule, but haven't really used it at any events, at least from what I've heard.
Yeah, I think they forced the tie on everyone. I think the judges were very strict about that in the LAIC.
I've got to play sudden death in LAIC. So I asked the judge about this new rule you just told Adi, and the judge told me like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, but you can. But no, I couldn't. So I had to play a sudden death. And it was so frustrating because I was about to win like the game already, but I had to play. At least my team is good in sudden death. I never I don't team build for that, but at least it was good. I did miss 2 icicle in the sudden death to an Among Us, but I ended
sorry
up
to hear
winning.
that.
I ended up winning because had a smash. So it is what it is.
You talking about sudden death?
Yeah, I did have to play sudden death in round 5 or round 6. I was like 4-0 or something like that. And it was so frustrating just having to play it. But yeah, at least my team was good. So
Bloody, did
Yeah, I
you
was
have
no
lucky that I
problem.
didn't. Huh?
Did you have any experiences with disconnects and ties, or did you get to avoid that?
No. So I was really lucky. I literally dodged it left and right in that round to round to round, someone to my left or right got DC'd. And I would just be fine somehow. I don't know
There
how it
was-
happened, but it happened like 4 different rounds in a row.
When I got disconnected, the tables, all the line of the tables I were got a disconnection. Everyone,
Yeah, I like
from table 20 to table 30, everyone got a disconnection or something like that.
Yeah, it was wild because I was playing my opponent and we look to the right and there's like 6 row or there's like 6 sets of people all raising their hands because they disconnected. And we're just like, okay, I guess I'll keep playing.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is mostly because this is something about do you think this is related to the dock issue? Because I know that they said going into the tournament, bring your own charging stuff. Was there any issues with the docks that caused that, or?
So I don't think it was a dock thing. Also, real quick, can you explain sudden death just for anyone who doesn't know?
Yeah, okay. So the way sudden death works is VGC games, unlike trading card games like Pokemon trading card games, can't end in a tie. Or they can, but it's a whole other thing to talk about that. We're not going to touch that. It's very rare. Really, essentially what happens is if there is a disconnect or something like that, then a game might end as a tie. But if after 3 games the result is 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss, then you go to sudden death. In which case you play a game and the first person to have a Pokemon advantage wins the game. So at the end of the turn, if you are up 4-3, you win. If it's 3-3, you don't win, even if you took the knockout first. But as soon as someone has a Pokemon advantage at the end of the turn, the game is over and they win.
yeah.
Dope. But yeah, no, my I don't think it had to do with the docks. Honestly, the thing with the docks is I think they just bought like I don't know if they bought the wrong Hori stands. They got the exact same Hori stands that I did when I bought one on Amazon. Like that wasn't actually a problem. They're like there are plenty of them, and then they were all just plugged in through like the little Ethernet to USB adapter. I think it was just convention center internet. I think it really had nothing to do with
Yeah.
the docks.
I agree.
Yeah, I also checked the error with a judge friend of mine, and they were all internet disconnection. None of them was caused by the dock.
Yeah, Which makes sense. I mean, the docks just don't come with the power cable, and so I think what they did was they just like bulk purchased the ones that were available on Amazon and said, "You guys bring your own cables," and that's it. Because like that's the exact one that I got on Amazon for like $20. So I think that's literally what they did.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. And for what it's worth, like I'm glad that they're at least giving people the opportunity to play and not just saying, "Hey, we don't have enough docks. We're gonna cap this at 200 people or something like that."
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
And
yeah,
to their credit, the Judge Station did have, I don't think they had a ton of them, but they did have at least like 50 like rental like AC adapter or like cables to like plug in.
that's good because I remember seeing on Twitter a couple people were like, "Yeah, my normal cord doesn't work just because of the different outlets."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to lend my AC adapter to Nails for like half of the day one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I guess let's talk about the tournament itself and maybe your runs through the tournament. And so I guess Bloody, do you want to talk about your run to 32nd place at LAIC?
Yes, sure. So, previously I had never even gotten a day 2 at any Pokemon tournament. And this was also just my first like international Pokemon event. And a few weeks prior, I was just very, very lost as to what to do, as to like what I should play or what I wanted to play. I feel like what I played in Toronto very quickly became not that great. So in Toronto, I played like Ursaluna Blood Moon, Oranguru, and Rock Ogerpon. It was a very fun little team, and it did cool things exactly in that event. But like a few days later, everyone kind of got used to it. And it no longer had like it was basically it had symbiosis and it passed Covert Cloak over, and I had like a bunch of people faking out my Ursaluna because they didn't realize that was the interaction. So Toronto was cool. I went 6-2 and then I lost. It was my first time ever 6-2 as well. So this time I was coming in with the for the first time I had the experience of like going 6-2. I mean into 6-3, but like I had a bit better an experience of like just having a better day 1 run. But the team was vastly different. So I ended up hitting up Gavin for the Rain team that he and the Tangs brought to Toronto. But, there's a little bit of a twist here, as you can see, because, I do really love Screamtail, and they happen to be considering Screamtail. And so about a week beforehand, I just started playing this team. And I meshed with it a lot. I'm very new to the game. And I think because Nails kind of taught me how to play the game, I was sort of taught with a lot of different style teams than this one, of like teams that do like really big, powerful things kind of deal. But this is very much so like a style of team where everything is switching all the time, and you have to threaten like 10 different things at the same time and figure out what your opponent's going to do and figure out what kind of decisions like you want to force them to make. Which I like that a lot. That like rings off of what I did in Magic a lot. And it just like resonates with my brain better. But unlike in Toronto, every round was like a fight. Every single round was a fight. Most of my matches, I lost game 1 and then slowly just got a feel for how my opponent was playing. My round 1 was very fun because my opponent just sat down and Google translated, "Hey, I have to go for a work reason, but do you want to play a game anyway?" And I'm like, "Yay!" So it's an easy round 1, but after that, it didn't really feel like there were too many free wins. I mean, everyone pretty much went 6-3 or up. So like I didn't face too many I didn't face anyone who felt like they were one of the the best player ever, but I faced a lot of people who were like not giving me any free wins kind of thing. And generally, yeah, I don't know. The team is really cool. Like Protect the Goldie is really cool. Switching things all around is very fun. Screamtail was really fun to bring like game 2, game 3. I think a lot of people just generally don't play against Screamtail and don't know the lines into it and get very thrown off by like this thing that suddenly has 260-ish speed that will just like outspeed all your things and press disable. I'm also the only Screamtail and Pelipper player in day 2, which made me happy. So yeah, it's just a very fun style of team. I'm definitely gonna like keep playing Gavin teams. I think I vibe with them a lot.
Yeah, it's a super cool team. Like you said, one of the more original teams. I guess like you said, it was kind of copied from Gavin, but two of the more unique Pokemon that we didn't really see in day 2. And you had a heck of a run. I mean, this is a crazy resistance in day 1 to play literally every single player after round 1 going, or except for round 1 and round 3 to go 6-3 or better is really impressive. And the one that didn't do that went 5-4 too. So really, really crazy schedule.
It was, yeah, no, it was so fun. I remember after round 4, I won with 7 seconds left on the clock. I won game 3 after like punting something with 15 seconds. And I just like barely won, like pollen puffing an AV Rillaboom. And that's how I won, with both of us at like 20 HP left kind of deal. So it was really, really intense all the way through. And I had a blast. I remember my round 9, as you can see, it was quite a bit of a weird team. It does like really interesting things of like Final Gambit Staraptor and like Choice Band Urshifu. And like the Screamtail is just weird. It's power weight, howl, psychic things. And they were 6-2, like, and I went up against them, and I was a little bit lucky because Nails had faced them earlier, and so he at least told me, he's like, hey, this Staraptor has Final Gambit, and I was like, what? And so I just like, I had at least like an extra minute heads up to figure out what I want to be doing against them. And like a lot of other games, so yeah, the thing that I think is really cool about me being so new is that like my fundamentals are still kind of shit. And so I feel like I'm not familiar enough yet with like good, reliable lines to get me to win the game. And I think I bank a lot on my like abilities that I've passed over from previous games, like the mental game and just kind of like the resilience and being able to read my opponents a bit better than I think people would with the amount of time that they've been playing as me. And so I lose a lot of game 1s, and then I kind of get like a really good read on like how they're playing and try to figure out my game plan from there. But this was no different. I lost game 1. I won game 2 a lot more convincingly. Screamtail was very sick into their team. And then game 3, it was really cool because like my first 6-2, I was very nervous and played not great and just felt overstimulated and lost. And that was in Toronto. And then this time, because I'd done it once before, I felt a lot more like just chill. And they made like a pretty significant oopsie. Which is they just left their Choice Band Urshifu in and let me press disable on it, and just like as soon as that happened, they like smacked their head. Like they clearly like just weren't thinking about it because they were just very anxious about the day 2. But yeah, no, I mean like I won that game, and I remember thinking I don't want to pop off in front of them because I don't want to be rude. And like Nails coming up, and I'm like, Nick, give me a minute. And then we walked away. Like I walked away so shaky, and I just remember I just like dropped to my knees and screamed at the top of my lungs because I was just like so happy. I was just, it was my first day 2, and I had been feeling a lot of feelings of like I've been working really hard to try to catch up with people, and I just don't know if I've made it. Like I don't know like if I'm like able to, like what's the point of me going to things, like, you know, am I good enough to kind of compete at like a decent level? And it was just really validating of those feelings. And so, yeah, I dropped to the floor and screamed and then cried a lot, and it was very fun. But yeah, day 2 was definitely less. Well, no, day 2 was also a fairy tale for a different reason. Like day 1 was like perfect, you know, like I played a lot better. Day 2 is hard. I did not realize how hard day 2s are. I've heard from a lot of people who have played a lot of day 2s now how difficult it is. But I had no idea. So I just like, you know, I ended up sleeping like 6 hours, and then just like kind of getting ready, like, all right, it's 5 rounds. We got this. And from like frame 1, you know, playing Dylan Salvanera is like, my brain was just like, oh, okay, we're doing this. We're playing real games now, compared to like my round 1 from the previous day. And I think I just got really drowned out by how difficult just the rigor. Like I played Nicholas Kahn again, who is like very, very good and had already stomped me. The game was way closer, but I still lost. I played James Beck, whose team was like it felt like it was like 90-10 versus my team, specifically because I had like Screamtail instead of that Iron Bundle, which the guys had in Toronto. And against Billa, I actually was in what he described as an unlosable spot game 3, and I punted it out to time. I ran out of time and I lost the game. I like basically he got a few 1-turn sleeps where at that point I wasn't like calculating. I was just hoping. I was like, please stay asleep. Like I just need to like kill this real quick. And he got like a wake up drain punch crit when his hands was about to die, and I just short circuited and couldn't figure out how to win from there. When like 20 minutes later, I was like, oh, they were still a guaranteed line. So the cool thing about my whole run is that I have so much room to improve. And just thinking about all of my games, I could think about like multiple things I could have done in all of my games that could have gone so different. I'm like very happy with how well I was able to perform in the games that I played, even in my like day two not doing well. But like the most fun that I had was that game three versus Billa where I ran out of time because it's just like I worked so hard to get to that exact point where I could have won, and I'm just like looking forward to getting better and being able to play in that position where I do win and where I do better on day two. Now that I've gotten to day two, I feel like I sort of know the feeling and I'm way less nervous about it. And now that I've played day two, I know the feeling and I feel like I'll do a lot better next time. So it was just like very fun, very like just a lot of VGC discoveries. I feel like I leveled up a lot. I feel like I also leveled up a lot by like getting 33rd and having to sit with that failure for like a few hours, which ultimately it's not a failure. I still day two. I was still really happy, but like I was bummed. I couldn't make it. I, went 1-4 on day two. And then I just had to sit with those feelings and how to improve from there and how to feel better about the situation. And I did. And I was feeling a lot better. Like I even tweeted out like, yeah, just missed a LMAO. Like it's all good though. Like thanks for the support. I'm still really happy with everything. And then Chuppa in passing was just like, oh look, someone got DQ'd. And I'm like, what? I remember specifically I was like, Chuppa, don't do this. Don't give me hope. This is that's cruel. That's mean. So it was really like a wild story. I also almost got DQ'd out of 33rd because coming from Magic, it's very normal to be like, yo, do you want to like fix the match according to breakers? I didn't actually ask that. I specifically asked, are we allowed to do this? And then I asked the judge, am I allowed to do this? And that was like enough mention that they were like, you're going in the box. And then I got like interrogated. And then, they had to like ask Billa if he thought that I was coercing him to like throw the match. And I was like, I was just having a little panic attack because I had no idea how serious like even mention of it was. I know now everything ended up fine. But like sitting in that box for 10 minutes with no one around, just being like, what the fuck's going to happen? Was very not fun. But yeah, it was a roller coaster of emotions from like, holy shit, I locked this game up to holy shit, I lost to holy shit, I'm going to be DQ'd to okay, fine, I got 33rd. Damn, I bubbled to, oh wait, I'm 32nd. Hooray! So it was just it was a very eventful run. I had a really good time. I'm very happy with how everything went down. I couldn't play it out better in my head if I tried.
Yeah. Well, yeah, congratulations again. Just it sounds like a crazy run. And that I remember we were, sitting at home waiting for the standings to update because you were the last one. I didn't know why. It took so long for you and Billy to finish your match, but I guess now I know.
Yeah, not only did I lose to time, not only did every game almost go to time, but then there was an extra 20 minutes of judge discretion afterwards. So that is why it took so long.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned a DQ a couple times. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I do want to talk about everyone else's run and celebrate y'all's success. So, Desu, do you want to talk about your run through LAIC and your experience, and maybe a little bit about the team?
Yeah. So the team I choose to bring in the LAC was actually the idea behind was for the senior division. I mean, Regidrago was supposed to be played for my brother. The idea of the team was the idea was to be a very hyper offensive team for the senior metagame. But when I tested the team for my brother, I actually thought, well, this team might actually be good for the international. I ended up like first place on the showdown ladder, and then I started to consider this team for my event. And the team is really straightforward. It's the Tornadus Urshifu team classic with the Regidrago as main damage dealer alongside with Goldango. Regidrago is really good to enable Goldango as a win condition. You force mini Terra Fairy with Regidrago, and with Goldango in the back, you try to get those choosy kills and try to win the game with it. But also Regidrago is incredibly strong against every team without Flutter Me, especially those teams with Trick Room. Our Trick Room based team. Regidrago does pretty well against them, and I expected to play at least a bunch of them in the LIC. So that's why I thought Regidrago was a good call for this meta game. This core usually play Arcanine over Ogerpon. I choose Ogerpon over Arcanine. I think Ogerpon in the way I played this team was a better choice because it helps Regidrago to fire off Dragon Energy at full power, and also it helps against slower matchup that are not Tornadus or Shifu teams. And also Grassy Glide is very very good against Fluttermane. I wanted to have as much ways as possible to KO the opponent's Fluttermane, and a Grassy Glide with a +1 that gives you the Terra on Ogerpon can KO most of the Fluttermanes. At least not most of the choice specs got KO'd in testing from Grassy Glide.
Yeah. You want to talk about your tournament run a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I think my Swiss run was not very easy.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Was not very easy, but I won all the game I won in except for the last round against Alberto. All of them I won 2-0.
Oh wow.
I think Regidrago really overperformed against most of this team, and especially like the 6th round against the Lilycall team. The match just ended in 4 turns, like both
No.
game 1 and game 2. I just went for follow me and Dragon Energy and won the game. So yeah, Lilycall was one of the reasons why I wanted to bring Regidrago. I saw some online tournaments from LATAM events, and I saw many people playing Lilycall for our Trick Room based team. So I kind of expected to Brazilian player to bring this kind of teams, and I think I was kind of right. Brazilian, I mean LATAM players, and I was kind of right since I mean also most of my run was US players, but the Dorian and Renan Gomez played our Trick Room, so I think I was somewhat right with this idea of people playing our Trick Room.
I just remember round 1 so hype going, oh my god, I have to play Desu.
Yeah, I was scared of 2 teams, mainly 2 Pokemon. One was Roaring Moon, and I think I was pretty lucky to not find so many Roaring Moon in the one. And the second Pokemon, which I didn't face, luckily for me, was Brambleghast. I think my team had a very, very bad matchup against Brambleghast. I had some plans, like Regidrago Ogerpon was good, trying to prevent Brambleghast to destroy all my team. But I didn't face any of them, so I'm glad I didn't. And I don't know what to say about my run. Actually, I think I could talk about my losses. The one against Thiago, I lost 2-1 that match. Both the game I lost went to Tornadoes against Easy in the NDD, which survived like 3 Blackwing Storm. So I think he played better than me in those games. And the one against Joseph he had a bit of luck on his side on game 1. He led the Goldengo and Tornadoes. I led the Rillaboom Goldengo, and I went for Mickey turning Igor's power on his Goldengo turn 1. I got the turn right, but I missed Igor's power, and his Goldengo proceeded to crit on my Pokemon. So the game 1 was a bit unfair, and game 2 I just tilted. I forgot about Thunderbolt on Goldengo, and I lost my Urshifu turn 1. So he deserved the win because I was just dumb enough to forget about Thunderbolt. But the game 1, it was just... it somewhat felt unfair. Um,
Um,
uh,
and I guess I have one question. So you, Bloody told us about
Yeah.
her finding out about the DQ and moving up a place. When did you find out that you'd moved from 17th to 16th, and how did you react?
Yeah, where were you when it happened?
can you repeat? Sorry.
When did you find out that there was a DQ and that you would be moved from 17th place up to 16th place? And how did you react to that news?
I think they were joking. Like I didn't expect this to be real. I was watching the stream, and we saw that Marco didn't play his match, and later on we found out that Yuya was disqualified, and then I think Joseph Ugarte contacted me on Twitter saying, "Congratulations for your top 16. You should also get money for the top." And we also tried to understand the situation more, because Judge didn't know how to proceed about the prize awards, and Joseph then later found out that on the rulebook there are some notes that says that if you move on the rankings, you also got all the prizes. So it was confirmed by the rulebook, and I was very happy when I heard that.
Yeah.
Uh,
That this is not the first time this has happened. In fact, this is not the first time this has happened in at an internet either. And so yeah,
Yeah.
that is the rule, is that if someone gets DQ'd, everyone moves up. And so we have, with the exception of Joe, who obviously moved up from 9th to 8th and got a hefty payday from that. We got some of the people, and I guess Yuya and Marco, who got the buy and got DQ'd. We got the two people who are impacted the most by this.
Yeah, I went plus $2,000 for that one,
yeah.
just because
Whoa.
some bad generated mons.
And I guess we could talk about what actually happened now. So let me pull it up. You actually tweeted out his team afterwards and was like, "Hey, like,
Yeah.
how did you, like, what happened? Please
Yeah.
hack check my team."
My
And
goodness.
It
I
was so
won't say-
wrong.
I won't say that was a stupid move, but it was a stupid move.
Yeah.
I
Like-
tagged Caphonics.
No way.
I can't see what's wrong with this. Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And
Uh,
I mean, okay,
Some of the
go ahead.
like the cosmetic ribbons, they told me some of them they were like impossible to obtain. So
Yeah, which is just wild. That's just the cosmetic ribbons. It's just why?
Yeah, like some of this stuff, like I think PP maxes. If you're competing at the highest level, you want to make your Pokemon as perfect as possible, right? Like it's okay to have
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, yeah.
50 ADVs like that. That's not real. I don't like all of these explanations, but like yeah, like a lot of these things are. Some of these things
No home
are
trackers.
hard to catch. Home trackers, we saw people get DQ'd from Worlds. So many people get DQ'd from Worlds for that. Like how we know that's part of the hack check now. How are you gonna post your team online if you have that issue?
Yeah, it also just like 6 IV legendaries, like that just, I don't know. He said that he didn't make his own mons, which makes me kind of feel even worse because like
Yeah.
this would make sense for someone who like doesn't generate Pokemons, who is just like, oh, I'm gonna try it and it'll be fine. But like the fact that he had someone else make his mons and it went so bad is just like, man, maybe just don't do that.
I have a funny story about that too. From the Gen 7 days, 2019. I had a friend. You can if you go on eBay, you can search teams, and you can just find people selling teams, including teams on my channel. Like I've had multiple people be like, "Yo, why is my team being sold on eBay?" So you can just ask people to sell you generated Pokemon. And I had a friend who did that for a regional back when Hidden Power was a thing, and he found out halfway through the regional that they made it with the wrong Hidden Power, and he was like, "Well, I can't do this anymore. I got to get it myself." So yeah.
Wow.
At least if you don't want to get the mons yourself, at least double check to make sure everything is okay, because you are responsible for them at the end of the day, and if you get DQ'd for it, it is your fault.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like people. It's not like nobody else in the top 32 or day 2. Like, it's not like no one else generated their mons. It's just, exactly one person did it really, really bad. And just no other commentary for that. I mean, it feels bad because like they're obviously really good. Went 11-3, went top 8.
He's
sucks.
crazy. He's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he's crazy playing this game, but it's unlucky that, well, not unlucky. It's a shame that he just gen his mon so badly.
I think this is not the first time that Yuya went on the TPCI radar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So
I think he got the Q too in another tournament, but I'm not sure.
He got DQ'd from Players Cup, one of the Players Cups, but that was not for this. That was because he was playing from Australia and did not have an Australian address to like send recording equipment to, I think. But yeah, this is the backstory behind that, the disqualification in top 8 that was ended up being very fortunate for the people we got in call. And so this is, by the way, this is the 4th time, I believe, in history that someone has got, or that in VGC Masters history, that someone has gotten a bye in top cuts of an international championship. And all 4 times that person has gone on to win the tournament. So I guess it just was inevitable that Marco was going to win. But
That's crazy.
Yeah, it happened in I believe 2017 OCIC. Although I wasn't actually around, I wasn't playing at that time, so I don't know the backstory there.
No. 2017 OIC Oceania International was the guy flew and just considered the top 8 match.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to imply that everyone got DQ'd. Just like people got buys.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I think Zoe got a buy at that, and then ended up winning the tournament. In the first ever internet, second ever internet, second, right? Because Desu, you got second in the first ever internet, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was the second international.
Mm-hmm. So that was the first time that someone got a buy, and then we had 2018. Alberto got DQ'd in top 4, and Jeremy got a buy and then won the tournament, and then Wolf got a buy in 2019 NAIC North American Championships in top 8. Not because Pado got DQ'd, but because either there was a glitch in the software or a judge during the hack check accidentally unlocked his battle box, and they were like, "Well, we can't do anything about it."
There are some mysteries about that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the common knowledge is that Pado, some judges, maybe, I don't know, erroneously removed Pado from the online competition, and Pado couldn't play the top 8 for that.
Wow.
We don't know if it was a judge or it was Pado's fault, but this is what happened.
If it's not Pado's fault, that's so unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a big deal then, and again, I think what I officially heard was that like it was a glitch, but like I've never heard of a glitch like that, so someone had to have accidentally clicked the button, and
it really seems like someone messed up and they played it off as a glitch.
But I mean, at least in that case, he didn't get DQ'd or anything, right? It was considered like a drop, and he still got top 8, still got his prizing.
Yeah.
But yeah, not having a chance to beat Wolf, and then Wolf ended up winning that tournament, and so this is 4 for 4 with buys in top cut of internets, winning the internets, which I think is very funny. But yeah, that was the story of the DQ. There was another notable DQ at LAIC in the TCG side that we'll talk about, after we do the recap.
Oh, you mean the one about Tord?
Yeah, about Tort. But I do wanna let Victor talk about your run through the tournament first.
Okay. Okay, my run was crazy because, well, my trip in general was crazy because my flight got cancelled. So the rebook they gave us did not let us participate in the event because it reached Brazil at like Friday afternoon, something like that. So we literally had to book another flight from Spain to Brazil to reach the tournament. Like I reached Brazil at 5 a.m. that day without any sleep, only the sleep in the plane. And I was so tired when I reached the event because it was so stressful going to the event not even knowing if you are going to be able to play, because if I was like 1 hour late, nope, I couldn't play anymore. So it was crazy. Well, at least we went to the hotel, we showered ourselves and like ate a little bit of breakfast, but very fast. And yeah, I started playing and I needed like between rounds like to wash my face with water because I was like falling asleep between rounds. so that was a big deal. And honestly, my tournament was not easy by the matchups either. Like you can see Justin carries in round 3. Well, first let me talk about my team. It's so boring. Like it won the last 2 events. I said, yeah, I'm going to try hard this. And honestly, I went so well in ladder. It went so well, the testing. Like I was like first in ladder with 88% of GXC. So it went well, but it's because yes, I try hard the team so hard and try to like see every possible combination that I could do with the team. These mons are just broken. There are just 6 broken mons together. It feels so strong. It feels like the strongest team in the format for me. Also, the Terraghost Relan was so good, and the Tornadoes was timid to surpass other Tornadoes in the mirror, and that really helped a lot, honestly, throughout the tournament. But yeah, okay. And now, I don't have anything else to say with the team because it's just the best team in the format, I think. We all know it. It won the last 2 events. It did like 3 times cut if we count Yuya, and the 9th was also these 6 months that it's so good. Yeah. It was me, and then also like the one who won against me, it's very similar. Like he has
David Ness,
Goldengo instead of David Ness. But yeah, I came very tired and I played Justin Carries round 3. I never played against Carries. I was so scared because he's a great player, and also my matchup was horrible. Like horrible because he had Terasteel Pariyov. I did not know how to play against that with my team. So I just I think I made a really good calls game 1, and game 2 I got like lucky with the sleep turns. Then I want to say like round 4 is the one with the disconnection, so I had to play the sudden death. I'm happy he still made day 2 because he was like very sad about the whole situation. I would be too, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when I was 6-0 and just like wanting to fall asleep in the table, I got Marco Fierro. And not only that, but they said like, you are going to stream. And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm so tired, please don't. But yeah, I went to stream and he destroyed me so hard. Like it was so easy for him, I think. Like I wasn't even thinking. He had a very solid game plan. and I couldn't do anything, honestly. And then when I was even more tired, you are going against Alex Gomez, and I was like, "What? Why does this happen to me?" And
No.
this was a very difficult match. He played. He's one of the best players of the world, probably one of the best in Spain, or probably the best. One of the best in Europe. Everything. I only have like good words for Alex. He's an amazing player, and he played very good. It was 2-1, and I actually think I could have won the game 1, but honestly, no regrets about that. And yeah, then I won against Arthur, who was like very nice with me, honestly. I lost the first one, and I was like, oh my god, am I really going to drop from 6-0 to 6-3 because I'm tired? But thankfully, I didn't miss Icicle Crash anymore, so I could win the second and third match. Yeah. And then the day 2 was even crazier because I was like, okay, I'm 7-2. I did my job, like I'm day 2, but 7-2 is very difficult to go into cat. Like I have to win everything. And then I go into the venue and they say, you have a bye. So I was like, perfect. Okay, only 4 more, and I'm in. And yeah, probably only with 3 wins, I was still in because everyone passed. And well, Joe did not, but at the end he did. So my day 2 was like very stressful too because like the schedule is top 4, Chupa, a very stressful team, and the top 2. So even if I got a bye, like it's a very difficult schedule. I won 2-0 versus David Rodriguez, who ended up winning me in top 8. I do think I was a little bit unlucky in the top 8 because of the flinch and the crit into my Urshifu. But also I could have played better the game 2. So I'm just trying to focus on that and not in my lose. Like I'm going to try to be a better player. And honestly, I still feel so proud about my performance with such a boring team. Yeah, that's everything.
Yeah. Yeah, really, again, just the consistency that you've had is just astounding. The third Internet's top cut, second in a row. Again, cut worlds in between. I think over the last 6 months or so, you might have been the best player in the world, which is just super impressive.
Oh, I wouldn't think so, but thank you so much.
But yeah, so talked a little bit about all of your runs, and so let's talk about the metagame at LAIC. Of course, we haven't had a major tournament in 3 weeks prior to this, so everyone had plenty of time to team build. Everyone plenty of time to analyze results from Toronto, from Lille, from all these other events, and sort of make their meta call, or just decide that the Toronto winning team was just the best team in the room, I guess. But so tell me about. We had some changes to the metagame, I guess, and I'm trying to pull up the usage stats that are always at the very bottom. So we had some big changes. I guess I'll let y'all talk about your impressions of the metagame and how it's changed in the last 3 weeks or so.
I think we do have some new teams. I think Alex teams and Bobo Max are 2 teams that we didn't expect like at all any of those teams to do great results. But if we like left out that 2 teams, it's like more or less the same, honestly. Like Riley is just playing comfort as always. Some balance running moons and Tailwind or Shifu are doing great. We already knew that before this tournament. I think the meta did not change that much, but honestly, I'm happy to see at least some players try to actually team build. Not me though. So yeah. What do you think, guys?
I guess when I was looking at the changes from at least the day 1 standings was that I saw Roaring Moon usage was up a lot, Amoongus usage was up a lot, and Goldengo usage was up a lot. Those were the 3 mons that I think saw a really big rise in usage over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think the metagame shifted a little bit more on the balance side. I think it was an answer to all the Urshifu Tornadoes team that won recent regionals, and I think both Goldango and Rory Moon were the main answers people tried and find to work against those kind of team. And in fact, Rory Moon was very high in usage and they won, but also in the issue. And Goldango, of course, Goldango won the tournament, so it speaks for itself. I think Goldango was mainly the major choice because he did so well against Sanvi and Chapa, but also Victor teams, which was the Flatterman Chempao, Arcanine, Rillaboom, Urshifu stuff. So Goldango does pretty well against those kind of team, and I think people figure it out before the LIC, and they opted to bring Goldango as it seems to be a good metagame code.
Yeah.
Goldango really was strong for this
And
tournament.
Yes,
it had it. Sorry, one thing
no,
is
you
that
go
I
ahead.
looked at it, and I was like, oh yeah, Goldango is everywhere. It was not actually that high usage in day one. It had a crazy conversion rate going to day two, and then in
Yeah,
day two it
yeah,
also
I mean-
did very very well.
I mean, they were those kind of Pokemon that maybe they weren't so much used in day one, but they were so good in the metagame that they all went on day two and performed incredibly well.
Yeah, no. So basically, we were very much so of the thinking that like Goldie is good and will do good, and so I was just happy that like there were a lot of like high performing Goldies, but I didn't have to play too many like Goldie v Goldie throughout day one, and I was quite happy about that because that's like what most Golden Go players fear is just playing against other Golden Go players, and then it's just it's a whole scramble. So it was cool that it wasn't as popular. It will definitely be way more popular at the next two regionals, because I think people are realizing that Goldie is just fantastic, and then everything will get flipped up around. But I found that like it's cool that alongside the very standard stuff that does well, there is still some innovation. Like like there was the second place person had like a really interesting team. Like I know that someone brought like Bronzong, which was it's part of Spam, but I just saw Bronzong and I was like, huh. I thought James Beck's team was really cool. I thought the Bramblegas team was very cool. It
Wait,
just
isn't
like
that one just Emilios World's team? Did he make any changes to it?
I think he made some changes.
Okay.
I don't know actually.
yeah, it
Oh,
was just like
he might-
something that wasn't on my radar. As I didn't play in Worlds, but like I even watch Worlds and I still kind of forget that this existed, and so it just like showed up and I was like, oh, cool.
Okay, he did not make any changes, right?
This
Yeah,
looks
I
like a
think he
team.
did.
I don't remember Emilio teams. I
Oh,
mean,
no,
the
he did,
teams
he
at
did.
least.
Yeah, he did. Emilio's team was Icy Wind. This sunny day.
One change has been made. Yeah.
There you go.
No, but yeah, I think like for what seems to be nearing the end of this regulation, there is definitely still some shakeups. I was happy that like I did well with my team, and I think that like I was honestly like if Gavin was playing my team, he probably wins the tournament, right? Like cuz I'm not that good. I think that like my team was well positioned and I thought of good lines into like the field, but I think that like if anyone else from that rain team, like any of the Tangs or Gavin showed up with my exact team, like they probably put up a performance that makes everyone else want to play this team. And so if anything, I'm a little like happy that only I showed up. But I think that there are like a few different teams that can really like target a good majority of what's good right now. And like whether or not they'll see the limelight will just kind of depend on like who's playing them at these next two events. But I think that like I don't know, but like bold take is that Hisui and Arcanine will not win one of the next two. I think like someone will show up like Vovamax's team and win, and people will be like, "Oh wow, something changed," or not. I mean, obviously, like If Hisui Arcanine doesn't win, it'll get second place probably.
I think Arcane will win the next event too.
You think so?
Yeah.
Same.
Uh,
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons why Thiago did so well with that team is that I know for a fact he was playing in that team for at least 1 month or more.
Oh wow.
So many people, I think, this seven specifically, maybe because it was an international, many people wanted to bring some comfort team that felt solid for them, and they knew the matchup, how to play against most of the common stuff. So I think it did pay off for most of them.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Thiago team, I think like suffers a lot against Arcane Hisui. Like Marco, well, and in my round, I played him in the last round. Okay, we were in the top cut, almost for sure. But I played him in the last round, and I felt like I lost one game because I literally throw. But I felt like Tornadoes, Arcane Hisui was so difficult for his team.
Yeah, Iron
So-
Ants 2 was kind of scary for that team.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
you,
that's
all of you saw the finals, and Iron Ants really overperformed.
Yeah. I'm surprised that he made it that far if his matchup is so difficult into those things. I mean, it probably just goes to show that he like probably just outplayed in some
Yeah.
situations. If it was
He's
much of an
just
uphill
too
battle.
I think not everyone is good as Victor is.
I literally could Tailwind Rock Slide, bro.
Well, so I think we saw Marco lead that in game one, right? He
Yeah,
led,
yeah.
and he looked like he was in a bad position. He managed to pull it back, but I guess in hindsight, I don't think he ever was in a bad position because Tiago's matchup into that is so reliant on that water ogre pawn. And if you have that, you can kind of pin it. You can say you have to Terra or else you're going to go down to a potential like Bleak Wind plus Rock Slide or something like that. And if you do Terra, then all of a sudden that Iron Hand to Mungus in the back that normally is not super good into Ogre Pawn, all of a sudden just becomes excellent into it. And so especially I guess those four together on Marco's team put Tiago in a really, really tough spot.
It was I don't want to be rude to like all of the Vovamax fanboys in the crowd because there was a lot. There were like hordes of Brazilian players that were just cheering so loud. But it was very funny to me to see them like really start popping off over things that were not actually advantages.
Yeah.
Just like like some sort of KO happens and they're all cheering and like 5 seconds later they realize it went horribly and they all like stop cheering. This is really funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was something.
So okay, one thing I did hear is that Tiago was out partying until 5 a.m. before the finals of Internets, and I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if y'all saw that or heard that or what you're. I guess y'all.
I have no idea about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
same. But they did say that he went like partying and stuff because like he already. It wasn't an amazing result for him, so he just said like, "Oh, I already won by making finals." So it's a good mentality, but just like try to prepare the matchup, please.
I don't know. Like you get
Yeah.
so much more prize money for winning. Like come on, just like
yeah, exactly.
just focus for one
mean-
night, one evening. You can the amount of money
Yeah.
that you get for winning that matchup. You can book a flight to Sao Paulo, back to Sao Paulo, and buy out the bar at a club, and just win your next match. Like just focus on that. I don't get that mentality where it's like I'm happy with second place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
think
mean,
it, you should
Oh, go
think it at like you're working basically. Like, what's the difference? $500?
Yeah.
How much? What is the difference?
Yeah.
I don't actually know.
I think it's
I-
5,000.
Yeah, I
like
think it's
5,000,
5,000.
It's fine.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's 15K to
That's
10K.
crazy. That's crazy.
There are a lot
Like
of
even if
money.
just like getting a full night's sleep increases your odds of winning by like 5%, that's still a lot of money that you're like expected value that you're giving up, like, and especially, Marco, who won the entire tournament has been here before. He's won an Internets before. He's a professional, right? He does this all the time. So he knows how to prep. He knows,
Yeah.
and it looked like in that finals that he was the better prepared player more than anything else. He played so well, and Nails has tweeted about this, that the Pokemon, when you have a full night to prepare, is totally different than Pokemon when you are 45 seconds to prepare or a minute and a half to prepare when you hand over your team sheet. And Marco took advantage of that time as best as anyone, and I think it really showed in finals.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that like literally finals was the prize money of all the international the year before. Like only the finals.
The first
is,
time.
Yeah.
The first time, the first international was like $300. The first place. Like, it's so embarrassing, the difference.
Yeah.
3,000, right? Must have been 3,000.
Yeah.
I think it was 3,000.
Yeah.
I won 1,500.
Yeah, so it's
For
3K.
That's cool.
And that's
I mean,
that's less
that's
than you
dope.
get for getting top 32 now. That's great.
I picked a
That's
good time to start playing
crazy.
VGC, guys.
You enter BGC in a good time, Globby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For
Yeah,
sure.
no. I mean, it feels like it. What I'm very much so hoping is that Pokemon starts to give VGC more and more of the esports treatment. I don't think it was like a secret that they were like there were like job listings for like esports related jobs for Pokemon. And so like I'm very much so hoping that they're gonna give it more esports treatment and just like put more money in it and recognize that Pokemon battling perhaps is good marketing for Pokemon. It just feels like VGC has been sort of on the sideline for so long, and it's really weird as to why, because it's like anyone who's played Pokemon can actually follow along with the battle. It feels really ridiculous, but also I'm glad that it seems to be catching up. So like the hope is that within a few years they double the prize pools up again, and like the game gets a lot bigger.
Yeah.
I feel like there is I feel like not pointing the finger at myself, but I feel like there can be a neat situation where like there have been. I think like Justin Tang is one of those people who's like it was like his first regional he won, right? Whoa.
Who?
What the? Did anyone hear that?
Yeah, it was Adi, I think.
Adi?
What happened? Sorry, can you hear me?
Are you okay?
Nothing. Everything's fine.
Is everything okay?
You're back in the recording. No, everything's fine. No, just like having people who are newer to the game show up and do well and have like cool stories associated with it, I think is also just like another wave of like getting people interested. I think like the next time we have a world champion who like started playing a year before or something like that, I don't know. I think that could be a very interesting effect. I feel like there are a few things that get games really going. One of them is like having a newbie do really well. One of them is like, obviously like prize pool bumps just get people interested. I think if anyone ever does like something that got Super Smash Bros. Melee like a whole new wave of life was like the Smash documentary, where like the person who's by far #1 in the world right now, Zane, like started playing because he watched like the documentary and got really excited about it. And like, I don't know, just imagine someone does that for VGC and just like goes through a history of VGC stuff, and then suddenly people are really into it. Like, I don't know, I just think it would be funny, and it would be there's just a lot of room for the game to like grow. For as big as Pokemon is and for as small as VGC is, it's just exciting to think of all the ways it can grow.
So, have you heard about the VGC documentary?
There's a VGC documentary?
Yeah.
Well, there was supposed to be. It never came out. So before the Smash documentary, maybe around the same time that was being made, Wolf was trying to do one for VGC, and just started a GoFundMe and everything, and it never panned out. I don't know how that ended up.
I think Ray Rizzo tried first. It was the first to try to make a VGC documentary, and then Wolf tried also. But nothing happened.
But
Oh no, I found the post from 9 years ago. I found the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, really?
it still exists.
yeah. Now, okay. What I will say about that is VGC historically has had a very cyclical attendance. You at the start of a new generation, you see this huge uptick in people showing up, people being interested in VGC. Content creators, people like A-Drive will get into it, and everyone will be like, oh, this is cool, competitive Pokemon. They'll play it for a little while, and then they'll stop, and the hype will die down, and attendance will go from 400, 500 at the start of a generation, all the way down to at the end of a generation. And in 2019, we were looking at like 60, 70, 80 person regionals. I think 2016 we had those tiny regionals as well. And so it is really reassuring, or rather there was definitely a potential when Sword and Shield released, and we saw those really big regionals like Dallas, like Collinsville, that the number was going to drop, but it only kept getting more and more popular. And I was really scared after seeing the 780 player Orlando regionals and listening around me to the tables around me, like, yeah, like going to a regional has been on my bucket list. Like I've wanted to do it, since I got into Pokemon, since I got into Pokemon during the pandemic, since I started watching Wolf. And now that I've done it, I don't really feel the need to do it again, is what I heard, from people around me at that tournament. But I'm really glad that we're still getting 500 plus people a full year later. That, Charlotte, which I just talked about, and I had that pulled up a second ago, I closed it out, is going to probably cap at, or get very close to capping at 800 people, which would be the biggest event of all time if everyone shows up. So it's really exciting to me that we're seeing that sustained attendance, and that is really important because they really committed to putting a lot of money into the game. And if we started to taper off attendance and go back to 100, 200 people, then this isn't really it can't justify this sort of prize pool if that's the case. But because attendance has stayed so high, they put that commitment into VGC, and we're seeing the dividends of that.
Yeah, I think as a PokeTuber, and someone who I've only recently made the decision to commit more to VGC, just because I literally have just had so much fun playing the game the last week or two, that I'm starting to think of really interesting ways to get more VGC in the hands of people who are Wolfie fans who will go to an event and start playing because they watched it and it seemed fun. I mean, that's literally I don't know if that's how I got into I got into VGC because I thought it was a cool content idea to challenge him to a best of 3 and learn to play VGC in a week and then play him. And that was literally my whole thing, but it was based around I've watched 1 or 2 of his videos and I was like, oh, VGC actually seems pretty cool. Whatever you have to say about VGC content creators, they get people on the game. And I think the space is criminally underpopulated and under innovated, and I'm definitely a culprit of not doing things, and I want to do more things, but I think that there is a world where in the next 5 years VGC on YouTube actually gets to blow up with more people like Moxie Boosted, who I think Moxie Boosted is probably making the best VGC content right now. I think it is really, really good to just have interesting history and nuance about the game. I think also a really good form of VGC content is what Wolf did with him winning his regional, is being able to go round by round and sort of showing the hype of kind of how your matches went. And that's also that's also a shame that you can't actually show up at a regional with a capture card and take your games. It's I don't know how many people have watched that video and actually knew that he wrote down all of what happened and recalled it and recreated it with a friend and recorded that. And it's I think a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to actually sort of televise your own tournament run. And I hope that gets easier. I think that there are just a lot of little things that can make VGC a lot bigger over time. It's very exciting.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the limitations of the game itself, right? Is that in the past, in Gen 6, I think in Gen 7, we had the ability to save a replay. And so as you were playing, you could save the replay. And if you look back at tournament finals from 2014, 2013 era, and before they really started getting streamed very often, a lot of those finals were just the finalists just saving the game and replaying it on sometimes even a phone camera. That's how some of that stuff is saved. And we just don't have access to that anymore. And there's so many really, really cool games from a lot of people that I wish we would have had access to that just are never going to see the light of day because of that. So that is one thing that I hope is fixed in the next generation. They add that feature back. I think that'd be really cool and would
That's
really
crazy.
help
It's
VGC
crazy.
grow.
Yeah, it's crazy that we had that in 6th or 5th generation, and we don't have that now. That was an amazing feature. It was so good, and you didn't even have to change it. It was fine, like that. So I still don't know why they remove it completely.
It's Game Freak doing Game Freak things.
Yeah, I mean, I think at its core, they just don't realize how good for the game that is, content-wise. I don't know. The hope is that someone somewhere understands how good for VGC that is. Maybe now that they're pumping more money into it, they realize, okay, this is a feature that it does not take a ton of dev work to add. It's not like you're actually, creatively changing the game. Hopefully they're able to commit resources to it in the next game with like, hopefully someone in there understands, oh, this would actually be really good for the content of our game. And I think nowadays games are starting to get developed with like content in mind quite a bit more. So
Let's hope. Also,
Yeah.
I'm praying for a reconnection system. I'm delusional though, so so I'm not
Okay.
sure.
No, okay. The one downside of a reconnection system is, at least for like battle spot laddering, is that if someone DCs and you have to wait like 5 minutes for them to potentially reconnect, and they're just like auto picking their moves, that sounds awful. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, okay, but like the downsides are like better. Like no, the upsides are better than the downsides for sure.
Especially in a tournament setting, it's very it'd be very
Yeah.
nice to have.
No, it's yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we don't have that yet, and we're fighting like for $500 and $5,000 in a game that could just disconnect and you could
Yeah.
reconnect. It's I think it's a little bit crazy, but
Yeah,
let's
it
see if
doesn't
they
make
do
any
something
sense.
about it.
Yeah. Especially, man, I think I thought that at the start of the generation, it was just like it was embarrassing. I think the first game on stream at San Diego, there was a disconnect. It was like, that's so like, of course. And you think that
Yeah.
like that is so embarrassing that they'd fix it immediately. And yeah, it's just constantly happening. It's better than it was back then, obviously, but like it's still just so common.
Yeah.
Anyways, we've digressed a lot from talking about LAIC, and I do want to I guess quickly let's go through some of the other teams. I know we've kind of written them off as kind of boring, but if you've seen the lab mouse that I linked, one of the cool things it does, it actually shows you how common each combination of 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 Pokemon are, and so you can see that I think that this one at 2.5 is actually is this just
Yeah, it is
Marco's
Marco
team?
teams.
It is. Yeah. So actually the third most common team in the tournament, and then of course Victor, you brought the second most common team in the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the first one is, ironically enough, Marcus, top 8 team from Lille.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Rafa a couple days ago, who has been playing a lot of Psy Spam, and he was like, oh yeah, like maybe I got to drop Psy Spam. It's so hard to beat Roaring Moon, and now it's everywhere. And I was like, yeah, like of course we knew Roaring Moon was going to be everywhere because Marco VR did really well with it. But it is interesting to see that despite Roaring Moon skyrocketing in popularity, the player who had done the best with Roaring Moon, other than I guess Paul at Toronto, actually dropped it and went a different route, and ended up winning the tournament.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say about the teams in day 2, there's no Doso Tatsu in day 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
was
I
gonna say
think
that too. I
that's
completely forgot. Thank
crazy.
you.
I wanted to play Don Dodo so much. It was just such a free win for my team. And when I found out that there were no the Don Dodo on day 2, I was just praying to not play against Rory Moon.
Especially
Yeah.
with Juan and Jokin bringing it to the best LATAM players, bringing Dozo. Actually, no, this is
Yeah, but-
a solo Dozo. Never mind.
Yeah,
Dozo
that's solo
really
Dozo.
did poorly. There's
Yeah,
3.
most of these are solo dozo.
There's only 3 Dozo Tats that even got points. That is rough.
Yeah, and it's all 3 are poison spam. Like it's Glimora Doso, and it's
Yeah.
3.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's
I
just
think
like yeah, you.
I think the funniest part is that Don Dozo actually lose to Rapid Strike Urshifu.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it does.
Tornadus Urshifu just stomp Don Dozo so hard because you just set up the rain, Terra Water Urshifu, and it does like 50% post protect. You can defend, and you just lose your main win condition against the most popular Pokemon in the format, at least the strongest one.
And we see all 3 of the Glim Dozos actually have Ninetales too, so they're even potentially more susceptible to setting up rain there too.
It's quite funny that Salamence did better than Don Dozo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, the best Dozo used the Salamence too.
True.
Yeah.
I do the other Pokemon that I want to point out that was kind of on the pretty common in the metagame cutting regionals back a few weeks ago is Blood Moon. And if you look at Blood Moon, there's not a single Blood Moon in day 2. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, you were just at it. It was
Really?
at 6 count.
There was not a single Blood Moon in day 2. The highest finisher was there's only one in top
What?
64.
Oh wow.
And in contrast to that, there were 2 base form Ursa Lunas in top 16. So maybe we're seeing a changing of the guard with respect to how Trick Room is being played.
Yeah,
That's
I think
crazy.
People are more prepared against Blood Moon than the basic Ursa Luna, so that's why the Blood Moon underperformed and the classic made better placement. I myself, I played Blood Moon in Lille, but I find out that it wasn't the play for the international. That so many teams were prepared or they had a good matchup against that team. So
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
that's one.
that was exactly
one
what
of
I
the
came
main-
up against in Toronto because like I think at Toronto, Blood Moon was just really really good, and then it suddenly was really really not good because like it does not take a lot of adjustments to just not be super weak into it. I also think just like Water Pond, for example, is just like, oh, okay, cool.
I think I can compare Blood Moon with my Regidrago team. Blood Moon, many people didn't expect Blood Moon in the previous regional, so that's why he did well. And I think many people didn't expect or didn't prepare their matchup against Regidrago, so that's why me, Ugarte, and another player did well with Regidrago on the day 2.
Which is wild because like Raghav did really good with Trago, but like people just still didn't really people didn't really bring it much and people didn't really think about it. But yeah, like look at this ratio
Yeah.
of like how many Drago people did well.
And this is unrelated of the international, but Regidrago has like an insane amount of win percentage in the World Cup, like 80, more than 80%.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to point out something that they said in the chat. That they are asking if Saipan is doing better than Doso at like, and yeah,
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
For sure.
There were a number of size spam that did that. None of them cut, but there were a few that were in top 16. You see here 10th place, so top 32. There were a bunch of size spam.
I mean, not that many.
Oh yeah, I guess not. Yeah, I can't scroll. I was like, I definitely saw a couple of them, but yeah, I guess there's only one
Yeah,
in
and-
day 2. Is that it?
I think there were a lot at 6-3.
Look,
Like, I think
look at Armorage in.
Look at,
One more Galar.
there's no
Who's the
way to do
legend?
this.
Yeah.
Here we go. There's only 5 of them that got points, and
Yeah.
only one in day 2.
I'm,
And that was the Bronzong one. That was really interesting. Actually, I do want to take a look at this team because you mentioned Bronzong. I didn't really think twice about it, but
Yeah.
oh yeah, it
Yeah.
was
This is
the
cool.
U-turn. Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
U-turn
this is,
Independence Force.
This is one of the team that I mean. I know Daniel was playing this team a lot on the showdown ladder, but and by a lot I mean he was only playing this team for month, and so and maybe this is why he went so well with the team. He knew the matchup. He knew how to play the team at the perfection. So that's why I think he had an edge over other players because he knew what he was doing, and other didn't expect how to play. Didn't know how to play around. That's the team composition because the team it seems a size spam. It is a size spam, but it functions a bit different because the armor is weak armor and not flash fire.
Yeah, no, I actually played this at a mid-season, and then I got rocked by a single Tyranitar, which was unfortunate. But I think like New York locals are particularly size spam and anti-size spam heavy, because yeah, no, that's just the culture around here. But it was so interesting how different it was to play that team. I could definitely see someone who has a lot of practice just like kind of passing everyone's expectations of like what that team could do. Because yeah, no, the whole weakness policy indoor just like has so many interesting lines associated with it.
The other thing about this team that I think is really cool is the skill swap Bronzong. Bronzong in general doesn't see a ton of usage, but skill swap specifically with Specs Torkoal, if so many people are relying on weather setters, especially Rain Dance Torn, to break to beat Torkoal, and if Torn is everywhere, why wouldn't you say, I've got a matchup against Torkoal? Yeah, of course. You put the Bronzong next to it, you click, they click Rain Dance, you click skill swap, and then you reset the weather, and all of a sudden they don't have a Torkoal answer anymore. And so I think that's a really cool innovation that people are that is counterplay to what people are trying to do against this team.
Yeah, skill swap is sick for Psychic Surge, Drought, and then also giving Levitate next to 2 Earthquakers. Like, that's pretty sick.
Also, it's for Heatran. For the fast fire.
That's
yeah.
That's really sick.
It reminds me the Groudon Bronzong core of 2016. Like, the concept is kind of the same.
Mm-hmm. And then Ursaluna, like I mentioned, the base form did get 2 slots in top 16, which was more, which is a lot more than what the Blood Moon that was much more common did. And I think that one also just benefited a lot from the metagame changing, where Goldengo is really hard for Blood Moon and Mungus is really hard for Blood Moon at times. And the Ursaluna base form just loves facing those guys, especially when there's no Rillaboom on the team. And so that was another reason that I think this might have done so well, is that as the metagame changed, Ursaluna base form kind of beat a lot of those teams that we started to see more of.
Yeah, there's a lot of Mons that are rising in performance that just get wiped away by a single big earthquake.
Yeah. For example, Marco's team has triple ground weak.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to look out for. He has Hands, Arcanine Hisui, and Goldengo. He does have like the ground weak resistance with tornadoes, but it's worth to point out.
Mm-hmm. So probably, it's interesting because even though there is a lot of ground weak going around, there's also just so much redirection going around. So like Earthquake is actually the way to do it, and that's why I feel like Landorus's are not having their best day.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree.
How did Rillaboom do? Is there about to Rillaboom here? No. There's a decent amount. So still has the same problem with Earthquake, but on the side spam team, it's a little more easy to pull off. But
Rillaboom is goated.
Yeah, I guess so. We are running a little shorter time, so I want to do a quick mention of some of the cooler teams, I guess, because we talked about we talked about how boring the teams were, and then we started talking about like changes for the DLC and for the next game. That's how disinterested we were in these teams. So I'm gonna ask each of you to pick a team or a Pokemon that you want to look at in the Top Cut Explorer. Any team or any Pokemon that you want to maybe have a quick conversation about. And anyone who is ready,
ahead. Or you guys go first.
I'll let you go
I'm not first.
I will pick Regidrago.
All right.
Of course.
So 5 Regidrago's getting points, and honestly, I will say some really, really good players picked to use Regidrago, so I'm not surprised that it overachieved. There were only 8 Regidrago in the entire tournament, and 5 of them got points, and 3 of them made day 2.
I think Regidrago is really slept on in general. I mean, Frottimir usage since the start of the regulation, he started to drop. I mean, it's still one of the best Pokemon and one of the most used, but it helped Regidrago to have a spot on the metagame, and I think it really hits hard so many Pokemon that you can just not ignore the sheer force, the sheer amount of damage this Pokemon can just pull out. And in general, Dragon Meteor is an incredible move outside of Dragon Energy. The access of Dragon Meteor, you can, like, it does like 70-80% to Iron Hands, which if you think about it, it's crazy since Iron Hands is one of the most bulkier Pokemon of the metagame. And it's a great Pokemon in general, which with great many good matchups, and the fact that you can abuse of the Regidrago with other Pokemon like Goldengo, just make it a great Pokemon in general and worth team building around. I think it's not a Pokemon. It should be more explored, but we have like how many tournaments left?
2, I think.
3. There's
Three.
this
Three.
weekend, and then there's Stuttgart, and there's San Antonio, and I think there's an Australian regional as well this upcoming weekend, but we're not going to preview that one. Yeah, but you mentioned it's not it doesn't it's a Pokemon that just really rises in usage, but everyone except for you ran exactly Raghav's team. It looks like, and you ran
Yeah.
5 of the same 6 Pokemon. So even though people started using it more, it doesn't seem like they were exploring it. They were kind of putting it on the team that did well with it. Do you think it would? Do you think it has room to kind of fit on other types of teams and other archetypes?
I think you can make something more balanced with Regidrago, but you still need speed control. I myself, found out that I didn't use Tornadoes as much as I wanted during my run. I think something more balanced with Girago, it's worth exploring. Um, and also, it's you need some Pokemon like you need Goldengo or at least Citron with Regidrago, but I think people can try to make something new with Regidrago that it's not Tailwind spam.
I think so too, for what it's worth. I just think that
Okay.
sort of neutral damage is really, really strong. The sprite damage is really strong. Mentioned it's good
Like
to all these Trick Room teams.
most of the time I use a Regidrago with Ogerpon instead of Tornadoes because for me was a much better enabler of Dragon Energy than just spamming Tailwind because you can set up Tailwind, but you're still weak to priority moves, and this didn't help Regidrago uh, that much because there are many priority like Dragonite, Chempao, King Gambit also, and they can be a all scary matchup if you can actually use Regidrago properly. And Ogerpon helped me a lot against that team. In fact, I when I played against Riley during day one and also during day two, Ogerpon really overperformed in this kind of matchup where Arcanine would have made those matchup worse.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All all right. Bloody, you're up. Pick a Pokemon or pick a team that you want to talk about.
I'm ready to if Blood isn't
Oh.
ready, but
Torviv can go.
okay. I had two, but I'm going to just to pick the most interesting one. I want to highlight the Paul Ruiz team because he's an amazing player and the team was so interesting.
Yeah. So he ran
Ooh.
Sinistra, Chen Pao, King Gambit, Iron Hands, Volcarona, Landorus. All right. Victor, you want to talk about it?
Oh, I'm not sure what to say about it. I think like Champa King Gambit is definitely unexplored. I think Riley knows how to play those two mons really well together. Like at first thought it might seem like counterintuitive because though it's like two dark bones with sucker punch and physical attackers, but at the same time, not letting them intimidate your Chempao and having your sucker punch with black glasses boosted, it's pretty good. And yeah, the rage powder with two boosting mons with King Gambit and Volcarona, I think it's pretty interesting. When I watched the team on stream and in between the rounds, I was like, I really don't want to face this. Like, I really do not want to play against Paul Ruiz with this team. How do I play against it? Like, I do probably have a matchup because my team is crazy, but I never played this. Like, it's so strange, but it's pretty
Uh,
cool.
I I think the idea behind this team is to have King Gambit over Corona as the main damage dealer. You have Iron Hands, the Intimidate on Landrus, that helps those Pokemon to setup, and then you have Sinistcha, which helps with the ability, gives both Pokemon the pseudo citrus berry. So you will have more chances to set up and actually make those Pokemon a real threat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but as I said, like the Chempao, like it all seems to be like making so much sense. Like
Yeah.
Iron Hands with Synesthesia and two Septapmons and then the Landers to be a little bit fast. And then you see the Chimpanzee and it's like, but then it's like, it also gives so much problems to a lot of teams too. So I think it's really smart by Paul's
Yeah, I
part.
think Chempao was mainly for maybe Tornado's team, since Chempao is pretty good in general at dealing with
For sure.
tornadoes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think the Volcarona is also very cool. This is something that I think Paul has been running for a long time. I believe he brought Volcarona to Worlds as well. And he is the only believer in Volcarona. No one else is running this mod, but it is cool to
Yeah,
see him.
he is a Volcarona enjoyer.
I don't know. I'm not a believer. I think there's so many other fire types, and man, like this thing just gets walled by Heatran. It cannot touch Heatran, and the rest of the team doesn't
I-
look right into it either. So, but other
Even
than that,
like
I-
Giga Draining for 6%, that's pretty good.
I love Volcarona, but every time I try to use it, I was asking myself why I was not playing Chiu.
Yeah.
Chiyu
Yeah.
or Ogerpon Fire, right, just has the same coverage too. It can also get the +1 attack without using a move.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a believer. But
Yeah,
but
right
the rest
now
of the team,
it
very cool.
seems. Yeah, it seems like it's not the best fire type right now, but this team was really interesting.
Definitely. All right, Bloody, your turn. Pick a team or pick a Pokemon you want to talk about.
Yes. So specific team that I thought was really cool was Andrew Ding's team. I don't know how many other Landorus incarnates there were, but I've only like Top Cut Explorer shows one. So I don't know if you can go to the other stats thing. But I think this team is really cool. I don't know. I just like. Oh yeah, wait, hold on. I'm really curious. I want you to. Let's see.
Landorus. There were
Three.
three appearances, yeah?
Yeah,
I
I
think we can
guess.
pull the numbers. Can we pull the people? Is that in here? No, it's not. All right.
Yeah. In any case, what a cool mon. I mean, it's obviously a legendary. It's obviously like a strong Pokemon. Like Life Orb, Sheer Force is 6. Sandsear Storm just like it does knock out the Golden Ghost with the redirection. Like it's actually really cool. Like the Sludge Bomb kills Ogrepons. Like it does a lot of interesting things. Every time I try it, I can't seem to make it work. And I don't really want to keep trying, but this guy did it, and it does work out. I don't know. It's just like it's a mon that looks so strong in its own little box, and I don't know if it's ever gonna see too much light of day. But just Landorus Incarnate has me very
Yeah.
has me going like wow.
I like Landorus a lot, but I think there are some Pokemon that really make it not very viable, like Urshifu in first place. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
but also Pokemon like Fratterman are good in general because they take special moves so well, and they do a lot of damage in response, which I don't think Landorus is very helpful against those Pokemon.
Yeah.
And they are all of them, they are extremely common.
No, they're everywhere. That's why I'm just looking at this and I'm like, wow, how'd you do it?
Well, so I think as the metagame sort of looks more and more like the Regulation D metagame, maybe with a couple more grass types, I think about Landorus' place in Regulation D. I know Scott Iwafuchi cut the World Championships with a Landorus, and he was telling me that it was, the cornerstone of his team. It was an incredible Pokemon for him. And so I would not shock me to see more of it again. If you think of this metagame as like, oh, it's the same thing except we've got Ogrepon now, which is the one thing
Yeah.
that really really shook things up. This thing's pretty good into Ogrepon.
I
Sludge Bomb is doing a lot of damage, especially if you Terra Poison.
I also think Thor type poison in general had a spike in usage recently. Although the Roaring Moon and Desu were, or most of them were Thor poison, and Landorus does pretty well against those.
I have to say
So
that he made Bramblegas work in a team that is not Emilio's. So
Yeah.
it's cool to see that too.
Yeah,
Because
no, it's got a whole bunch of stuff.
One thing,
Yeah, it's cool seeing the two like Tornadus and Landorus next to each other. And yeah, like
yeah,
the whole Tailwind boosting Bramblegas. It feels like this is a team that is probably pretty hard to play in preview. Because like it could do a lot of vastly different things turn one.
yeah, it's
It,
very hard to cover for everything.
Yeah, you just can't. I mean, like Terra Steel, Make It Rain, freaking Rain Dance, Terra Water, Rain Dance, Hydro Pump, and then like Tailwind, Bramble Gas. Like, there's just a lot of very real things it does, and then Landorus. It just feels like it throws everything at you, and you just have to kind of like dodge it as you play against it.
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so that I think that's going to wrap up what we're going to talk about for the LAIC teams. There was one more thing I quickly wanted to talk about from LAIC, which was Tord got DQ'd as well. And so if you don't know who Tord is, he is the greatest Pokemon TCG player ever. He's won every single international championships. He just got second at the World Championships. And he got DQ'd from this tournament. And I read through, you can read through his tweet where he describes what happens. We obviously don't have the judge's perspective, but essentially it looks like he got a game loss for pace of play, for slow play, day one. And then in day two, he got another game loss for slow play. Now, I play Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't play Pokemon trading card game. I don't know the exact rules for that sort of thing. I know Desu, I know you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Too. And Bloody, you of course play Magic. So we've got a few people who have a little bit of experience with trading card games. This does not seem usual to me. At least in Yu-Gi-Oh!, you would usually get a warning for your first slow play. You get slow play warning, and the second time you probably get a game loss. You don't get disqualified. I don't know if this is normal for Pokemon.
You do get a warning. You do get a warning here.
Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't mention a warning. He said he got a game loss without any warning.
Probably he gets a warning and then he gets a game loss. Because
I heard that in the TCG in general, judges were very harsh with they were very harsh in general with people, and third also were on the I mean, people said the third. It's not the first time that third this kind of slow play, I would say, and so maybe they just wanted to be more focused on him as a player, and that's why he got DQ instead of a warning.
Yeah. I did have to bring this up because this is the equivalent of like Wolf getting DQ'd, right? This is big news in Pokemon in general. Bloody, I guess because you played Magic, do you feel like this is normal for Magic the Gathering, or I don't know much about other card games?
Two funny things about this. Number one, the name of the game in Magic and paper is autopilot your first 5 turns because people will try to stall you out at the end, and it's completely illegal. Like, you can do whatever you want. If you make the match go to time, it ends up as a draw, and that sucks for whoever's in the lead, kind of deal. And so it is very much so something that I learned early on in paper Magic is play as fast as you can at the start of each of your games, so the games can actually like end up with the outcome they're supposed to get to. There's not really, I mean, I've never experienced a penalty for slow playing, and I was one of Magic's slowest players, like far and beyond. Gabe Nassif is like well known for one of the slowest players, and when he was playing me in tournament on an online tournament, it was like a charity tournament that I ended up winning, which is funny. He actually complained to the TOs and made them cut the round time by like 15 minutes because I played too slow. So I was the queen of playing very, very slowly, as shown by me running out of time in games at LAIC. But this was just never a thing in Magic. Like, if you go to time, you go to time. That's a skill that you show off. I never tried to slow play anybody, but that's not really like something that happens. It's almost just like you can call judge over for like if someone is, playing their one turn way too slowly, but that's like it's pretty clear. I think it gets pretty clear that like I don't think I've ever seen it, and I think it gets pretty ridiculous if anyone ever like goes really exaggeratedly slow. But like you're able to call a judge over, but judges never do it like independently. I've never heard of anyone just being like, we had our eye on you and you were too slow. It's always like the opponent that does it. So like either what is being said is not what's happening, or like there was just some really ridiculous treatment of this player.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he mentioned in his tweet that this is not the only time that questionable decisions have been made by staff at LAIC in the TCG over the last few years. I remember there was a senior who got DQ'd because they alleged that his one of his parents was giving him signals while watching, which seems kind of unreasonable because they were like, I literally could not see what cards were on play. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going on with TCG and Brazil, but yeah, I just did want to briefly touch on what happened here.
Yeah, actually, one of their opponents commented, "Our game felt completely fine before the judges pulled you out of it. Game one went kind of long, but that's just how Guardy versus Lostina goes. At no point in our set did I ever feel like you were taking advantage of the clock. I'm sorry this happened to you." That's crazy. That his opponent comments like, "Yeah, no, we felt normal." Like that. Yeah, I don't know how that's allowed for like a judge to make a decision that you're slow playing as opposed to your opponent.
I mean, I think it's the head judge that made that decision because of the first post, and I have to say that Thor in the TCG community, as far as I know, is like known for making slow play like really hard. As far as I know, I'm not entirely in the TCG community, but that's what I heard multiple times.
I also heard about that. Thor playing very slow.
Yeah.
Not to the point you can say it's slow play, but in general, it's very slow.
Yeah, I mean, there's such a difference between slow play and playing slow, right? Like slow play is like intentionally trying to drag things out, and playing slow is just like, I mean, I play really slow. Like you just need some people just need some more time. Some people are Joe UX9 who lock in their turn within 3 seconds, and if not, then there's a problem. But some people just need like the full time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
the thing is that. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. You first.
Yeah. Oh, really? The thing is that I think like in one tournament, like someone commented like Thor didn't almost finish any of his rounds, and that's kind of what are you doing? Also, a lot of people commented like in his post like you were really playing slow too. So I'm not sure what to think about this, but like a slow play cannot be permitted in TCG. Like even if you are Thor or you are Wolf in BG. Like I think that's very bad because they don't have like anything to prove is a slow play or they're just playing slow. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna head out a few minutes early. I just have a little bit of a tummy ache, but thank you so much for having me. It was very fun. You guys have fun with the rest of your stuff. I gotta get going and sprint to the bathroom. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. It was super fun. All right. See ya.
See ya. Yeah. So I guess one thing I will say is that I am very glad that we play the video game where we don't have to worry about these sort of time rules. It's all kind of decided for you, and I don't have to. This is one of the things that I don't like about like paper play and Yu-Gi-Oh too, is that it is very frustrating to have to kind of deal with that element of especially when you are someone is potentially slow playing, being like, do I want to call a judge here? Especially, and then imagine playing against someone like towards Caliber, how much pressure that must be to have to make that decision. So I kind of get that perspective as well.
For my experience in Yu-Gi-Oh, many people are afraid to call judge when these kind of things comes up.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to do, again, especially when you're playing against a player who has this sort of reputation or this sort of amount of clout. But I guess so. We have two more topics that I want to really quickly cover. The first is I wanted to cover the preview for the Gdańsk regional. I don't actually know how to pronounce that. Is the Polish regional. My friend Nausiak actually is from Poland, and so he posted a long guide to the city. So you should definitely check that out if you are actually going. It's definitely worth reading. And I don't want to do too much of a preview because we did just talk about the metagame pretty extensively. but I do want to do a smart money. Smart money. Who is your pick to win this regional? Desu, you're not attending. Who do you think is going to win?
I will say Samvi just because he's good and he's my friend, and I know it was just the smart money.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Torviv, your turn. Who do you think is going to win Gdansk?
I'm going with a sleeper pick. I'm going Carlos Cabal or Mirai. He's one of my friends too, but like he went to like 2-3 regionals, and he made day 2 in Barcelona, top 32. He made top 16 at Bochum. I think Gdansk is his regional, really. So I'm rooting for him.
Yeah. My pick, I'm picking one of the very few Eastern European VGC players I know, Dave Katesh, where it's somewhat not exactly a hometown regional, but relatively close compared to what he normally has to travel. So I think that I haven't seen his name around in a while, but I'm sure he's attending, and I'm sure he's going to have a chance to do really well because he is one of the best players in Europe and hasn't had a chance to go to a ton of events recently. And if anyone can solve this format, if anyone can run something crazy and crack it, it's going to be him.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess.
And Kutesh and Jamie are the most creative team builder I know so far.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be no surprise for me if Kutesh can come up with something very innovative, but also very good in the current metagame.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's going to be happening this weekend, and of course it's going to be streamed. So make sure to go ahead and presumably you're going to get to watch Victor at some point this weekend, just with his track record. So look out for that. But yeah, that just a real quick preview of this regional. I don't think there's ever been a regional in Poland before. This is the first time, so there isn't even like a history element that we can really go over. But it is really exciting to see regionals in new places and new opportunities to host. And yeah, with that, last but not least, let's go ahead and do the calc is right. So this is a segment where we each have a damage calc. One person will read out their damage calc, and in this case, other two people will guess a number that they think is in the range of that damage calc. So if a move is going to do between 70 and 80% damage, if you guess 70, you are right. If you guess 80, you're right. If you guess 75, you are right. But if you guess 81, you're wrong. So you're trying to guess a number in the range. We kind of just go one by one. So did you guys have a chance to think of a calc for the calc is right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I think about it. If Victor wants to go first.
Okay, I will go first. Okay. +1, 252 Adamant attacked, Black Glasses, Terra Dark, King Gambit, Sucker Punch, into 156 HP, 4 defense, Terra Fairy, Arcanine Hisui. I'm going to paste that into the chat because that was...
Yeah. It's a very long calc.
Right. +1 to max attack, Black Glasses, Terra Dark, King Gambit, Sucker Punch into 156-4, Fairy, Arcanine, Hisui. Huh.
I would say around 60%. Maybe something lighter, but 60% is the safe bet for me.
I was gonna go something similar. I think Sucker Punch, if they didn't Terra Fairy, is probably killing. If they have some bulk investment.
Yeah, that's why
I
went for 60.
Yeah, I mean, if it's killing, then okay. I'm gonna go a little lower. I'm gonna say about let's say 54.
You both are correct. Yeah.
I think 62 maybe is the highest roll. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, it's
No.
60.
Like 60. Okay.
It's 60.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pull it up. We got max attack, terrestrialized, Kowtow. This is +1, and they Terra Fairied. So yeah, it's gonna do. Is this right? Did I mess something up?
It's Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 50.5 to 60%.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Desu, you wanna give us your calc?
Yeah.
I thought
It's
it was going to do
running.
more damage. I thought you guys wouldn't get that.
I thought it was gonna. I almost went for a lower number. I was like,
Oh,
like, does Sucker Punch actually kill Arcanine? I think it does, but I'm not sure. But I could have reasonably gone for like 45 if I think it didn't kill.
Yeah, I think this one is a funny card.
okay.
It's 452 with Adamant Nature, Iron Thorn Spin Missile, 4 hits against the 152 4 HP available. What do you think?
How
is
much
the-
HP does the... Okay. Oh,
So max HP 4 defense Rillaboom from 4 hits from
Yeah.
Pin Missile. Not Terra Bug, just normal.
not
Iron
Terra,
Thorns.
not
Yeah,
Booster.
no Terra, no
Um,
booster.
I would say 85%.
Okay.
Wow. Not a believe. I think it kills. I think this is a. I think Iron Thorns is a,
I'm
is a heck
not,
of a Pokemon.
I'm not a believer.
I am saying I'm gonna say it's gonna do 104. All right, let me.
Wow. The card key
Okay.
is 69 to 85%. So Torviv
What?
is
Let's go.
yeah.
That's
You-
it.
you-
Oh, this is Quirk Drive too.
What?
Oh, that's right. Okay, I see. Loaded dice, 4
Yeah.
hits, 69 to 85. Wow, I really thought that was gonna kill.
yeah.
Nah.
Man, this mod sucks. No wonder no one uses it.
Yeah.
I mean, it has a very high attack, but he didn't have like any multipliers or a stab or anything.
It's super effective. That's a multiplier. What do you mean this is doing 40 neutrally? That's awful.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If you think it's basically a 100 base power, super effective move on a 135 base attack, so you should
Yeah.
think. But if you think about that, Rillaboom can actually take Ice Spinner from Chien-Pao, it's not surprising to me that
Mhm.
this damage it's not very high.
That's true.
Agreed. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I've got a calc. We're seeing a lot of Speed Booster Roaring Moon with Breaking Swipe. We saw that pick up a lot at LAIC. So we're gonna go with a 220 attack Jolly Roaring Moon, right? So the most attack investment you can be while still being Speed Booster.
Okay.
Clicking Breaking Swipe into 252 HP, 4 defense, Terra Dragon Goldengo.
I would say around. It's not 2 for sure. It's 40%.
I was going to
it's-
say
maybe-
35.
All right,
I
Torviv
think
says
it's
35.
between- I would say 40. Maybe
40?
a bit. Yeah.
All right, let's pull it up. So we got 252 HP, 4 defense, Terra Dragon Goldengo into
It's a Goldango with a 4 investment in defense and no max HP, right?
yes, max HP, 4 defense.
Yeah.
With
It
Speed
should be.
Booster, clicking Breaking Swipe, it's doing 43 to 50.
What? Oh my god.
It doesn't even two-shot.
Look. Nobody.
Yeah.
It's a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's super effective.
Sure. I was sure that it wasn't a 2-hit kill, but I wanted to say 45% because Breaking Swipe is not a very
Wow.
high in damage in base power, and it also it's a spread move. So,
Mhm.
but
And you're not
Roaring
even
Moon
attack
has
booster.
a very but Roaring Moon has a very high attack, so it's not surprising to me.
It is to me. It is. I thought maybe 35. To be honest.
Yeah. So
Wow.
no one got this one right. This one stumped y'all.
Yeah.
But
Fact.
yeah, those are I guess those are all the topics that we had planned. So thank you all for tuning in, and thank you Desu, Torviv for coming on. I know it's late for y'all. We hosted this a little earlier, so I'm sorry. If you're looking at it's 7:00 right now. This is when we normally start hosting Tub Takes. I'm sorry if you're just tuning in. You're like, hey, we're starting. We are just wrapping up, but yeah, thank you guys both. Did you have any shout outs or anything that you want to give?
Not really for me, but thank you so
Yeah.
much to you. Like, it's very good to be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and of course, shout outs to Bloody too for coming on. I know she had to dip. We went a little longer than normal. Had a lot of stuff that we wanted to talk about, but go check her out on Twitch. And she was actually just streaming beforehand, so and rated us. So didn't have much time to transition there. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to wrap it up. Of course, we are live on YouTube right now. This is new. I just found out we can multi-stream. Like
Ooh.
last week that was actually allowed.
Oh,
So
really?
maybe we'll do this more often. But yeah, so maybe it'll be on Monday nights on YouTube, and you don't have to wait until Wednesday. But Wednesday is when it normally goes up on YouTube, so I figure the YouTubers are probably used to this. But if you're on Twitch, I'm gonna go ahead and raid Pengi. It looks like he's playing in a tournament with his LAIC team. I think he went 6-3, I want to say. So yeah, go check him out, and we will catch you guys later.
I think it's the same tournament my brother is playing right now.
Oh, your brother is playing your now?
Yeah, I told him to go to sleep since he has school tomorrow. But
Oh my god. Wow.
yeah.